Cancer is a continuously growing global health problem that poses major challenges, most especially in developing countries. Find out how this international distributor of innovative health products came up with a series of solutions to help increase a patient's chance to survive the odds. In 2020, the Philippines hit a record of 354,398 prevalent cancer cases within a 5-year period. But because of poor access to health care, especially for people living below the poverty line, the advances and breakthroughs in cancer remain unattainable to many.
Cancer refers to a group of diseases that's characterized actually by cell growth, abnormal cell growth and proliferation, inflammation, as well as angiogenesis or formation of new blood vessels. It always starts with mutation in the genome or the genetic makeup of a person inside the cell. Before PPARs, most of my patients, they were unable to finish the chemotherapy regimens because of the side effects and because of discomfort during the process of chemotherapy.
Maria's son Dominic was diagnosed with stage 4 rhabdomyosarcoma when he was only 4 years old. While coping with the recovery of her other sick child, Maria found it hard to accept Dominic's condition.
It was actually very devastating kasi with Dominic, it was manifested mga 4 years old na siya eh. Unlike dun sa daughter ko na congenital talaga, baby pa lang. Yung mga bandang September, meron ng umuumbok-umbok dito sa leeg niya. Hindi ko talagang inisip na cancer kaagad siya until nag-nosebleed siya.
Dominic was prescribed chemotherapy, but his family insisted to rush to an integrative doctor to seek for alternative cure.
Medyo hesitant ako kasi as a mother, I know the side effects ng chemotherapy kasi. So what I did is that I rushed towards the integrative doctor of my daughter, who happened to be PPAR partner doctor of Simply Nature.
One of the hardest decisions to make for people living with cancer is choosing the kind of treatment that would work best. To help patients and their families deal with this growing health problem, one company commits to producing safe, credible, and natural health solutions by drawing on the latest bioscience technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates. So it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature.
But I really wanted to share yung poem from Chadao. So 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, the sort of house I live in, or the kind of car I drove, but the world made the difference because I was important in the life of a child.
Good morning, everyone. We are from Simply Nature, and that is Tito Shen, and I'm Tita Jessie.
And you put it on your chest, say, Jesus loves me.
Jesus loves me.
For our gratitude, Mr. Shan.
Ha? Ito na ba ang mga sundalo ng Israelita? Maliit man ako sa iyong paningin. Malaki ang aking Diyos. Tutulungan ako ng aking Diyos at lalabanan kita at tatalunin kita.
Nayanig ang paligid sa pagbagsak ng gulayan.
Si Mother Ricky, pasalamatan naman natin si Mother Ricky at palakpakan din natin siya kahit siya ay nasa ibang lugar ngayon.
Paano kayo di gagaling, di ba?
Pinupurit, sinasamba kita. And Lord, we believe you for testimony from every child in this place. In Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people say, Amen! Hallelujah!
Nung 2022 po, yung parang inipon ko talagang pera pambili nung Simply Nature, nung vials, ng PPARS. Yun po yung iniinom ko.
Cancer lang siya, strong tayo. Kaya patuloy lang po tayong lumaban kasi may Panginoon tayong gumagabay sa atin lagi. Yun lang.
And on behalf of the Simply Nature team, God bless you all. Maraming salamat for blessing us this day. We hope that we have made you all happy. God bless you once again. Here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thank you, everybody.
CA markers.
Mataas siya. Then, nung after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad. In just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months. Cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo. Like Simply Nature na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes. It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARS, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARS, ako po ay cancer-free.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Simply Healed, and this is a special episode. Season's greetings to everybody, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And Doc Jansen, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, Sean. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas to all of you watching right now.
And today's program, we're going to be a bit more lighthearted. What we're going to do is today we're going to cover the topic of how to treat yourself, or basically how to enjoy your holidays healthily. So Doc, you're going to share with us three very important guidelines, because for cancer patients and for anyone with metabolic syndromes, there are three things that you will need to take note of, which is number one, sodium content, number two, fiber content,
and saturated
fat.
Okay, so oil. Okay.
So Doc Jansen is going to give you a very comprehensive way where you will be able to select your favorite foods, knowing that you meet these parameters. So Doc, let's start with fiber. I believe that's the first one.
Yeah. So all of you know that I always prescribe a whole food plant-based diet. So that is unprocessed and unrefined. So if it is so, it's very easy because you only have to choose the apple and eat it itself. Okay. However, of course, I know it's very difficult, and we really love that processed food attracting you, especially this Christmas. Okay. So now here's I will teach you on how I select the food items in the grocery. Okay, on how I identify which is healthy and which is not. Okay, so we have three concepts here. Fiber. How do you know that what you're buying is actually high in fiber? Is it enough? Okay. Number two is to determine if what you are eating is actually low in sodium or low in salt.
Because everywhere I see the potato chips are low sodium, no fat.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
We'll take a look later in the program.
And then number three is saturated fats or oil. Of course, cancer patients and all other patients like patients who have metabolic diseases for that matter.
Diabetes, blood cholesterol.
High blood cholesterol, chronic kidney disease, we all love our fried foods. Okay,
yes,
so
we do.
Which oil is the better choice to choose, no?
Yeah.
Or how do you know if this oil is okay for me to consume?
Yes.
Okay, and how much saturated fats are you is okay for you? Okay, so first we go to the fiber. Okay, so a high fiber diet is always very important because a high fiber diet does a lot of wonders, especially when treating chronic diseases like cancer, metabolic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, chronic kidney disease. Okay, so there are a lot of benefits with a high fiber diet. However, of course, life would be sad. I mean, I'll be honest here. Life would be sad if all you're eating is salad. So you have to have a little bit of a
and I got to see this because I had lunch with Doc Jansen and his family. And I saw Doc Jansen eating delicious food. So he also, Christmas season, he also breaks away a little. Yes. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. If you go on a supermarket, okay, you are faced with an item. Okay, let's say for example you want to eat bread. Okay, so how do you know if this bread has enough fiber in it?
That it will be good or safe to eat, or less unhealthy.
Yes. Okay, so I always look at the total carbohydrate to fiber ratio. Okay, so here is what it looks like. Now here's an example. Okay, so this product is ground flax seeds. Okay,
very delicious.
Yeah, very delicious. So how do we know that if this product has enough fiber in it? So please take a look at the nutrition facts of this food item. So take a look at the total carbohydrates. The total carbohydrates is 11 grams.
Yes.
Okay, next is look at dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is 9 grams. Okay, so what you need to do is to divide total carbohydrates by the fiber. Okay, so that would be 11 grams divided by 9 grams. So please get your calculators and compute for yourself. Okay, so the answer is
1.2.
Okay, is 1.2 less than 5?
Yes, it is.
Yes, so this means that this food item has enough fiber in it. Well, I cheated because flax seeds, this food item is actually a whole food. Okay. So this is one of the benefits of it. Now let's actually take a look at a highly processed food.
Oh, our
okay?
favorite potato chips. All right.
Potato chips. Okay, so please take a look. Do the same thing. Okay? Look at the total carbohydrates of Lay's potato chips. It's how much? 15 grams.
Yes.
Dietary fiber is what?
1 gram.
Yeah. Of course, there will be some fiber in it because it's potatoes.
Yes.
Okay? However, it is highly processed already. That's why you have so few fiber. And the fiber in potato is actually found on its skin.
Oh, so most of this. Yes.
Yeah. So when you eat Lay's potato chips, you don't see any potato skin in there, right?
Ah, that's why. And the total carbohydrates divided by dietary fiber is 15. That is 3 times our target. Our target is only 5.
So here's another thing, no. If you find it that your overall diet is really lacking in fiber, and you really find yourself to hate plant foods, hate vegetables, here's another solution. You can actually buy a fiber supplement, dietary fiber supplement like Cleansing Plus. So with Cleansing Plus, here, this is its nutrition facts. So take a look again at its dietary fiber. Okay, I want you to compute the total carbohydrate to fiber ratio of Cleansing Plus. Take a look at the total carbohydrates. Take a look at the dietary fiber. Divide it. Okay? See what you get.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
So,
there you go.
There you go.
That's your proof. Now next to the very important part, because during Christmas we eat ham. Ham is full of salt.
Sodium. Yes, it's very high in salt.
Sausages and all these. So sodium is so important for those with high blood pressure, chronic illnesses. So Doc, how do you know whether a food is low sodium or not?
Okay. Now, this is very important, okay? Because for those of you who are hypertensive and who want to prevent becoming hypertension, because hypertension is just very prominent in the family, okay? Very prevalent in the family. Okay, so here are the limits. For the general population, for healthy individuals, the limit for sodium intake per day is 2,300 milligrams. That is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
1 teaspoon of table salt. Okay.
All right.
So if you are hypertensive already, you are taking medications, and you want to reverse hypertension, you have to limit your salt intake to 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day. So that is around 2/3 teaspoons of salt. Okay. So if you look at the product, okay, how do you know if it's low in sodium? Okay, so let's take a look at the same product, the same food item, which is the ground flax seeds.
Okay.
Okay, so in order for you to know if the sodium is low, take a look at the total calories of the food item and take a look at the sodium. If the sodium is less than the absolute number of the total calories, then that is low sodium.
Wow, this is such a good tip. I never know when something is low sodium or not. This is the first time actually I have a tip like this, Doc. So what we do is we compare the sodium. If it's lower than the calories, then it's very likely a low sodium
product. Yes.
Wow, this is so helpful, everybody.
Okay, so let's take a look at this food item.
Alright.
So
flaxseed.
For flax seeds, how much calories is one serving? It's 160.
160.
Okay? For sodium,
10.
one serving is 10 milligrams. Okay, so 10 is less than 160. Obviously,
So this is a low sodium food.
Okay,
healthy food.
Whole foods. Now, let's take a look at Lay's potato chips.
Oh wow, see, it works. It works. This tip works. Yeah.
Okay, total calories of Lay's potato chips is 160. Sodium is 170 milligrams. Okay, so obviously the sodium content 170 is more than 160, which is the total calories. So this food item is actually very high in sodium or in salt.
I like the next example that you're going to show, because this is something many of us use in Philippines, because especially when those of us who cook at home.
Yes.
We often buy ready to make broth, right? Instead of cooking the broth yourself, you buy the ready to make broth. And let's take a look at this one.
Yeah.
This one has all the keywords: organic, low sodium, vegetable. All right.
This is something.
Yeah.
If you
and
want
the
to
color is green on the packaging. I mean, you would think that you are making the healthy choice for your family.
Yes.
Is this true though?
Yeah. Okay. So, is this true? Let's see. Okay. This is the nutrition facts of this food item. So,
Is it low sodium? Take a look at the calories. Since it's broth, the calories will be very low. It's 10. Take a look at the sodium, it's 120.
Wow.
Okay, so this is actually a very high sodium product. Okay?
Wow.
And if you are living, if you want to try to live healthy, this is one of the food items that you most likely will choose, right? Okay, so please be wary of these things. Okay.
I mean, I just compare this broth. 1 cup is this. I mean, 1 serving of this broth compared to 1 serving of Lay's potato chips. It's the same amount of salt. Very close. 170 versus 120. So if you drink a little bit more soup, or if you use this broth, knowing the Asian style, we will still add salt. We will add soy sauce, fish sauce, or some sauce, right? So that's really gonna make us go over the limit. Wow. Okay, that's so we are often misled.
Yes.
Doc,
So. Yeah.
why is it important to compare the calories to sodium? What if we take something with a 0 calorie? Then even a little bit of salt will be high sodium. So is there a reason why having calories and then sodium levels they balance each other, so that as long as you have more calories than sodium, it's manageable?
Okay, so the way the scientists or the researchers did this is that they base it on the total number of calories, because that is the total meal that you will eat for the day. Let's say, for example, you are on a 2,000 calorie meal plan per day, right?
Yes.
So if you only eat these food items, you will definitely exceed your salt limit intake, basing on the total number of calories. However, keep in mind that we have these limits. So actually, we can be flexible. So it doesn't mean that, okay, this product is high in sodium, then I should avoid this. No. Because you have to always keep in mind that there is a limit. So if you are 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, right? Of course, you can still drink the vegetable broth.
Yeah, because it's only 120.
Right, it's only 120. But keep in mind, drinking a cup of broth, that would be 120 milligrams of sodium.
But it will not give you any calories.
Yeah.
So your body will make you drink another cup.
Yes,
and then you still won't get the calories. Your body drinks a 3rd cup, then suddenly your sodium content is very high.
It's very high already.
Okay.
But of course, take a look, okay? We have the limit, so you can adjust. So take a look at this. For a broth, 1 cup would be probably around more or less a normal person would
drink 1 broth,
right?
yes.
1 cup, 120 milligrams.
I understand now why they this simple guideline of calories less than sodium, because you don't want to overeat, right? So you shouldn't be eating a 4,000 calorie diet. So if you're only going to eat 2,000 calories, and if you're hypertensive, your sodium should be 1,500 and below. So obviously your sodium cannot be more than your calories.
Yes.
That's just a simple.
Because or else you will exceed immediately. And if you exceed immediately, you won't feel full because you only eat a small amount of food in the first place.
So now the last one, saturated fats.
Okay, for saturated
in Asia,
fats,
we love our fats.
We love to cook with cooking oil. So saute, deep frying, etc. Okay? But here's the thing. So always remember that saturated fats is the culprit for developing insulin resistance, for increasing your cholesterol, specifically the LDL cholesterol or the bad cholesterol, which deposits cholesterol in your blood vessels, causing it to block. Okay? For diabetes, again, it worsens insulin resistance, so it makes your diabetes worse.
And for cancer patients, insulin resistance creates problem. For cancer patients, how does insulin resistance create?
Yeah. Okay. So typically, for cancer, right, we always hear this concept that sugar feeds cancer cells. Okay, it's true. However, sugar also feeds healthy cells, and you need sugar to live. Okay, because your brain is highly dependent on sugar. Okay, so it would be very difficult for your body to function if you go on a low carbohydrate or low sugar diet. Now, here's the thing. It's very difficult to swim upstream. So we go with the flow. However, here's the thing that I want to teach you. I want to highlight. Okay? For insulin, we have to prevent insulin spikes more than blood sugar spikes. So it's very important that your insulin that your body is sensitive to insulin. Okay? Because insulin spikes is the one that promotes tumor growth.
Yes, the insulin-like factor, right?
Yes.
Yes.
IGF-1 specifically. Okay? So this is one of the main reasons. And of course, saturated fats also increases the risk of cancer metastasizing. Okay? Because saturated fats attaches to a very specific receptor on the tumor cells that allows it to multiply and spread.
Wow. Okay.
So
There
how
we
much
go.
saturated fat should you be consuming every day? So please listen very well because I will teach you on how to compute for this.
Oh, this is interesting.
So according to the American Heart Association, the limit of saturated fats for us is 5 to 6% of daily calories. So how would you know, okay, how much saturated fats should you be consuming? Okay? First, you have to know how much calories should you be consuming every day. Okay, so how can you know? Please go to this link and compute for your daily calorie needs. Okay? They have a calculator, just put there your profile, okay?
And then you'll get your
then
number.
you'll get your number. You'll get your daily caloric needs. Now, please do it right now.
And the Singaporean, me, will share with you a math hack on how to arrive at the 5%. All right? Very easy.
Very
okay?
easy.
You take, for example, 2,000 calories. So you divide it by 10, so that you get 10%, right? So that's very easy. Just remove 1 0. Okay, I'll move the decimal point. So if your number of calories is 2,000, then it becomes 200. Now that's 10%. You halve it, you get your 5%. All right. So it's a very simple hack. Move the decimal point 1. So if it's 1,500 calories, you remove 1 0 or move the decimal point 1, you get 150. Now you just half 150. If your math is not that good, you probably say 70. Okay, but if you're accurate, it's 75.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very easy. So all you need to know is how much 1,800 calories, remove 1 0, 180. Half 180 is 90. So you can only take 90 grams of fats.
Of fat. Okay?
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so 90 grams of 90 calories from saturated fats. That is your daily limit. Now, I used a different value here. I use 6% because we love our fats. Okay, so I want the upper limit of their recommendation. So let's say, for example, 2,000 calorie daily requirement. So 120 calories should come from saturated fats. So how much is 120 calories? So we have to convert this into grams.
Oh, there's still one more part. You have to divide by 9.
Part. Yes. So because fat is 9 calories per gram. So we need the grams because when you read the nutrition labels, it's in grams. Okay? So we have to get it in terms of grams. So for this example, 120 divided by 9 is 13 grams of saturated fats. So for someone with a 2,000 calorie daily requirement, only 13 grams should come from saturated fats. So let me give you an example on what this looks like.
But before we do that, after hearing this is live, right? So I'm coming up with an immediate Singapore hack for you again, mathematics. Okay, very easy. The total number of calories you have divided by 10. So let's move 1 decimal point. Half it, and then move 1 more decimal point again. So in this example, it'll be 2,000 will be divided by 10, 200, right? 200, half it is 100, right? 100, move it 1 decimal point, which is, or remove a 0, it becomes 10. So it's a bit lower than the 13 grams, but you don't need your calculator. Okay,
it's almost the same.
It's almost the same, and it's safe amount. All right, so divide by 10, half it, divide by 10 again, and that's the number of grams of saturated fat you can take based on your calories. All right, Doc, let's go and take a look.
Okay, so
this is the favorite. Many people ask us, is virgin coconut oil healthy? And they often take 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of it. Oh, this is really
okay, so this is really a very interesting product. Okay, so coconut oil is actually very high in saturated fats. Okay, so take a look at the nutrition facts. This is an actual product here, manufactured here in the Philippines. Okay, so this brand of virgin coconut oil has 12.6 grams of saturated fats per tablespoon.
So 1 tablespoon is a normal 2,000 calories entire day limit.
Yes, entire day limit.
So once you take that 1 tablespoon, you cannot take any more fats or oils for the rest of the day.
For the rest of the day, because anything in excess of this, that will already deposit in your blood vessels. That will worsen your insulin resistance. It might metastasize. It might cause for your cancer to metastasize. Okay?
Wow. So just so that everybody has a maybe better picture, because some of our viewers might say, you know, Doc, when I started taking virgin coconut oil, I felt good, right? Yeah, that's, I think, one of the reasons that could happen is that we're not saying that virgin coconut oil is not good. It does have its beneficial effects. But if you keep taking it, then you are taking in lots of saturated fat way beyond your tolerance. So what will happen? Maybe 6 months down the line, or even maybe sooner, maybe longer for someone, you're going to develop heart diseases. Right? So it's not saying that virgin coconut oil does not have its benefits, but just looking at how much saturated fats is in it, you realize if you take this for a long period of time, you may get well from some disease, but you will then develop your heart diseases and diabetes and all that
and
too.
Also, you might be wondering, hey, I'm already on a plant-based diet, but I'm taking virgin coconut oil. Why isn't my cholesterol going down?
Oh, it's because of the virgin coconut.
Because of the virgin coconut oil. Okay, so please be careful.
Well, let's take a look.
Here's a substitute for this.
Wow, this is virgin olive oil, is it?
Yes, this is extra virgin olive oil. So for extra virgin olive oil, take a look at how much saturated fat.
Oh, I feel so much better because when I fry, when I saute my stuff, I do use like at least a tablespoon. So now I can use 5 tablespoons a day.
So you have.
So that is actually fine, and part of it will actually be cooked away. So all the more I could probably end up using 7 tablespoons a day.
Yes, of course, and olive oil is really very high in unsaturated fatty acids or polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is the more beneficial type of fatty acids because that is omega-3. Okay, so for this, 1 tablespoon of virgin coconut oil is actually 2 grams only. So if you have a limit of 13 grams of saturated fats every day,
6.
Hey, you can actually have 6 and
you're still fine.
You're still fine, and you have 6 tablespoons is quite a lot, right?
For cooking, it's actually quite a lot.
It's quite a lot, and I mean,
yeah. And even if you fry something in it, you put 6 tablespoons doesn't mean you eat 6 tablespoons because the food will probably only absorb 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon of the oil.
Exactly.
So you still have 5 tablespoons.
And probably a tablespoon will be left on the pan or on the plate,
right? So there you go. Wow, Doc. So we covered the 3 important items that all holiday goers and this Christmas: salt level, fiber level, and saturated fat levels. So remember these tips. We're going to flash it up right now. Look at the fiber ratio. That's how you calculate this. Now look at the sodium. How do you know if something is low salt? There you go. Okay, sodium must be lower than the number of calories. And last but not least, here's how you know how much saturated fat you can take a day. And I have a Singapore math hack for you. Divided by 10, divided by 2, and then divided by 10. Okay? So 10 half 10. Alright? And there we have it. I hope these 3 tips will help everyone choose better so that you can still enjoy your Christmas holidays. So once again, I see the questions coming. People are going to ask about peanut oil, corn oil, and everything again, Doc. Okay, so without further ado, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Doc?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And let's go to our AMA.
Hi, good evening everybody. My name is Sheila and you are watching another episode of Simply Healed webinar brought to you by Simply Nature, your long-time running healthcare awareness webinar here in social media. It's 3 days to go before our Noche Buena, and our topic tonight is just perfect because it is entitled Cancer Journey Treating Yourself on a Holiday Season. I am very sure that you have lots of questions awaiting out there. So without further ado, to answer all our questions for tonight, I'd like to call on the 2 gentlemen who discussed our topic for tonight. First off with our CEO of Simply Nature and PPARS expert from Singapore, Mr. Sean Lim, and of course, our lifestyle medicine doctor, Dr. Jansen Calalan. Good evening, Sir Sean, and good evening, Doc Jansen.
Good evening, Sheila, and good evening to all our viewers. Advance Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But we will have one more session next week. The last one of the year will be next week. Doc, so good to see you as well. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Sean. Hello, Sheila. Merry Christmas to you too as well. And Merry Christmas to all our viewers right now.
A big shout out to our viewers in other countries in all around the Asia. A big shout out to Miss Lily from Malaysia. Yay, my neighbor. All right, and all our viewers all over here in Philippines, and I believe we have viewers from other countries, maybe even the Middle East. This year has been a crazy, amazing year. We've had viewers from Nigeria, from Brunei, from Australia, so many countries. So we're so glad that we are able to help people all over the world, and that there's actually a need that people are watching from all over the world just to have their questions answered about cancer. And Doc, thank you so much for your 3 tips today. How to identify low sodium, how to identify if something is low in saturated fats, and the last one is whether something is really high fiber, not just because they put it on the label.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the questions tonight, Sheila.
Alright, okay, so for the first question for tonight, coming from Miss Ligaya Tan, are all tumors considered cancerous, Doc?
Not all. Okay, so there are tumors which are benign, there are tumors which are malignant. Okay, so what are the characters of the tumors or the masses to become malignant or benign is totally on their appearance. Okay, and of course, what kind of tissue they are. Okay, so that's why it's very important that we always, it's very important that we do biopsy on the tumors to know to identify what kind of cancer is it. Is it really cancer or is it a benign tumor? Okay, because the management for both is totally different. Okay.
I think it's important that as cancer patients or loved ones of cancer patients, you start to familiarize yourself with some words that will be spoken to you at the clinic and hospitals from nurses, all right? So the first 2 words that Doc Jansen mentioned is benign. Benign is actually to be kind.
Yes.
So it's a friendly tumor, so it's not cancer. For cancerous tumors, the word that they will use is, they may not say cancer. For example, a report may come, and if you see in your report, it says that benign tumor, it really means that your tumor is not cancer. So but when you see the word malignant, that's when it is cancerous. And also another word, I was just talking to a friend, and I was just saying, I asked Doc Jansen, he kept saying on our show, when you palpate, I was thinking, what is palpate? It sounds like, your heart beating or something like that, right? The word palpate simply means when you touch and feel. So when the doctor says, when you palpate your breast, it simply means to go and feel your breast. Do you feel the cancer? So it is important because, as cancer patients, when you end up in a hospital or when you talk to your healthcare professionals, sometimes they forget that they are using lingo that we laypersons may not understand. So today, palpate, malignant, and benign, all right? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Alright, for the next question that we have here coming from Mr. RGGJ, how about high heat, such as sauna bathing, hot bath? Can it help to kill cancer? Sauna or hot bath?
That is very controversial. Its effects is not well established when it comes to killing cancer. But so far, in the literature that I have read about it, it has no significant effect on cancer. Okay, no significant effect.
Doc, in lifestyle medicine, it's like sauna or hot spring. What is there any medicinal or therapeutic effect for any type of illness? Or what kind of therapeutic effect can going to a hot spring have, or a simple practice like having a foot bath.
Yep.
When I had high blood pressure, my wife was telling me she was preparing a hot foot bath for me. She was like trying everything.
Yes.
We found out it's because I don't sleep enough. So in other words, for what are some? Is there any benefit to like sauna, hot spring, foot baths?
Yes. Number one, can help you relax because it dilates all your blood vessels.
Oh.
Makes your circulation.
Okay, Doc.
better.
Sorry, you used a big word again. Dilate. Okay.
Dilate. It
what
opens
does that-
up.
Opens. Okay.
It opens up your blood vessels. Okay. It makes it not really huge, no, but it opens
Bigger.
up the
So the blood
vessels.
flows-
So the blood flows
flows
more.
better.
The blood flows better. Okay. So, but when it comes to relaxation, yeah, that's about it. But okay, if you go out in nature, okay, there's actually evidence that us humans going out into nature, by nature meaning you go to the mountains, go to the province, you go to the beach, it actually stimulates our immune system.
And I want to, Doc, since you talk about like environment, me and Dr. Jansen, we together with the staff of Simply Nature and Simply Healed Medical Group's staff, we had a joint, how should we say, outing. We went to support Child House. Child House is a cancer halfway house. These are for kids who travel from the province. Most of them are on charity. That means they go to the Philippine government's Philippine General Hospital, so their chemotherapy is free. But since they come from the province and they are, of course, the underprivileged kids, many times their parents and the kids themselves end up sleeping on the road. So this really wonderful foundation called Child House finds them a place to stay. So my team and Dr. Jansen's team, we actually went to Child House to as part of our corporate social responsibility, and it's something we wanted to do to give back to the kids, right? And Doc Jansen, we were amazed that at the Child House they had 19,000 over children, and on record only 800 died over 20 years. So we were like, wow. And we were just talking to the founder of Child House, and he said, of course, they eat 5 times a day here because there's so many generous people, and they are with their own. That means the cancer kids are with other cancer kids, so no one's bullying them, no one is making fun of them, they no judgment, so they're very stress-free. Doc, remember there was this girl, very sassy, and she has a huge goiter, just here. If she was in a normal school, kids will be,
she would have been bullied.
She would have been bullied. And the founder of the Child House was saying, yeah, even the parents here are stress-free because all they need to do is stay with their kids. All the food is provided. They just focus on keeping their kids company.
Yep.
And I was looking at Doc Jansen, said their cancer survival rate and success rate is so amazing. It's like 5-6 times better than normal.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you a point of view, to give you a perspective on how they really do well with what they're doing. So 800. Let's make it 900.
Or 1,000.
Or 1,000,
Easier
okay?
to count.
So 1,000, divide that by 19,000, okay? Or so how much is that? I mean, just bring out your calculator.
5%.
I mean, 5%, yes. And that's their mortality. So meaning, if you turn it over, right? So that's 95% survival.
Wow, 95%
over in the span of
survival.
20 years, right? The average global mortality rate, overall mortality rate for all cancers combined, okay? All stages, all cancers combined, it's 68%.
Wow,
5
so
years
only 40%,
Yes.
sorry, only 32% survive.
Yes.
Whereas in Child House, 95% survive. So, I think what you talked about, going out to nature and being relaxed and learning to be happy, we saw it with our own eyes, the success in Child House. And the kids there, all of them cancer, all bald, shaved their head, a lot of them are bald, some of them have got, it was just heartbreaking, yet at the same time the kids were very happy. They were not so concerned about that they were dying or anything. And they all do well. So I just wanted to share this with all the cancer patients that are watching. So, one important aspect of fighting cancer is relax and learn to be happy, learn to be in a good environment. So, Doc, back to the question, you talked about the hot foot bath opens up your blood vessels.
Yes.
So, for cancer patients, there's no direct sauna or spring that will cure you of your cancer, but if going to the spring or sauna helps you relax, allows your blood to flow better, your other functions, your stress level to go down, your blood pressure to be better, that will aid you in your fight against cancer. So in a way, it's if you, especially if you enjoy it, yeah, it's good for you. Okay, it's good for you. It makes you healthy. If you're healthier, you fight cancer better.
That's true. I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Okay, so for the next question, coming from Ms. Lucy De Feo, Doc, may I ask, can PPARs contradict with chemo drugs?
No, actually works hand in hand, in synergy. In fact, some certain chemotherapy drugs can make PPAR agonists more effective. Also, the other way around. PPAR agonists can make the chemotherapy drug more effective as well. Also, PPAR agonists can also manage the side effects that chemotherapy drugs usually inflict on patients. Okay, so one example would be, chemotherapy drugs, have bone marrow toxicities. Okay, so in a way, your blood counts will go down, your white blood cell, your red blood cell, platelets can sometimes go down because of that chemotherapy side effect. So why do these blood counts go down? It's because of the bone marrow. Okay, chemotherapy has toxic effects on the bone marrow. It's actually these blood cells, red blood cell, white blood cell, platelets, they come from the bone marrow. They develop from the bone marrow. Okay, so PPAR agonists actually can help lower down the toxicity that the chemotherapy drug inflicts on the bone marrow. So that's one of the ways that it can help patients who are undergoing chemotherapy. And sometimes chemotherapy drugs are not working because cancer cells tend to develop resistance, or cancer cells become immune to the chemotherapy. So PPAR agonists can actually help make the chemotherapy drugs effective again. Okay,
that's a really good question, and Simply Nature on our side actually tested our extracts, the ones that you will be given if you take our protocols, with chemotherapy drugs. So we specifically tested it with two of the most common chemotherapy drugs. It's used by as many as 14 different types of cancer treatments. For 14 different types of cancer. So most likely you will have this chemotherapy drug in your cocktail if you're going through chemotherapy. So we've actually tested it against cisplatin and oxaliplatin. Exactly as Doc Jansen said, it protected the bone marrow from damage, and that's really important. And there's so much, there are actually many chemotherapy drugs that work in tandem with PPAR agonists. And in fact, some of them use synthetic PPARs, that means thioglitazones.
Glitazones, yes.
Those drugs together with the chemotherapy to enhance chemotherapy effect. Well, our PPAR agonist is natural, but it will also enhance the chemotherapy effect. So to your answer, you should be if you're going for chemotherapy, you should be taking our protocols, because that will protect you from the basic side effects of chemotherapy. And that's so important to prevent recurrence. You want as much of your immune system intact when your chemotherapy does the work, right? You don't want to kill the cancer cells, but also kill your own immune system. After that, the cancer comes back 6 months later.
Thank you, sir. In other words, sir, whether the patient is already ongoing chemo or will start chemo, the patient can definitely start off with the PPARs, correct?
And also, some patients after 1 or 2 sessions of chemotherapy, they can't continue because the side effect is so serious. Then to prevent that, you take PPARs before you start. But if you are already a patient that already started on chemo, and your red blood cell count, white blood cell count is low, and your onco says you no longer qualify for chemotherapy, then you take our PPARs protocol, right? Because that will help you raise your RBC and YBC counts up, then you can resume your chemotherapy. In fact, that's what happened to one of Dr. Jansen's 4th stage breast cancer patient. and she was shopping in the mall.
Yes.
Despite metastasis, despite metastasis to the bones, yes.
That's true. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Okay. The next question is very interesting, coming from Miss Marlene De Leon. Good evening po. They say dark chocolates are healthy.
I'll answer this one.
Okay.
Okay. If true, what percentage of cocoa in it should be considered when intending to eat, especially for cancer survivor like me with sweet tooth?
Okay, Marlene, I love your question because that's my pain as well. I'm a chocolate lover. I can finish entire one big bar like that in one night by myself, no need any help from anyone. Unfortunately for me, my wife says, hey, husband, you're hitting 50 soon, you shouldn't have such a sweet tooth, blah, 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 all right? And then, so I did research and she did research, so we came to an agreement. I can eat chocolate. So the chocolate that is good for me is those that are 80% cacao and above. Okay, you can find that. A lot of times the one that I enjoy more is the one about 70%. All right, but I've noticed over the months and year plus that I crave for chocolate, but she won't allow me to eat milk chocolate, right? So you have to listen to your wife, okay? Or else you'll be in trouble. Okay, so I've developed and I noticed, oh, very nice. After a while, I do like the dark chocolate. So as a tip, there are quite a few interesting brands. If you're in Philippines, you can go to Healthy Options. They have a wider range of dark chocolates. I do like the ones that have, I do like dark chocolate combined with cherries, okay, and raspberries. Those taste really good, okay, so that's your answer. Try to find at least 70%, ideally 80%, okay, and you will develop a taste for it. It's really nice. It's very smooth depending on the brands that you buy. My tip to you, go take a look at Healthy Options. It's slightly pricier, but at least you get to eat your chocolate, or else you have to abstain.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sir Sean.
Anything to add, Doc? I mean, anything to add?
I totally agree with you. I mean, for cocoa, if you can, 80% I think is reasonable. If you can get to 90, much better.
See, that's the doctor talking. 90% better.
But cocoa, I mean, it's one of the really healthy foods.
Actually, it's
around.
healthy, rich in antioxidants.
As long as it's cacao, okay, or cocoa. So just be careful because the pure cocoa, the nut, right? If you powder it, it tends to be rich in fats because it's a nut. Okay, so if you have a high blood cholesterol, be careful. You can eat, but not too much.
And there's a lot of sugar alternatives. They don't use fake sugar. What they use is, for example, monk fruit or agave sugar. So so in terms of budget-wise, this is my way of looking at it. You don't want to eat so much chocolate because you end up with a sore throat and things like that also. So with the same budget, you buy the slightly more expensive chocolate, but you eat less of it. So, you know, so that works out. All right, that works out. Instead of buying a lot of cheap chocolate and then you eat a lot of it, now you buy less, slightly more expensive chocolate, but then you eat less of it, but you still get to eat your chocolate and it tastes great. Hi, Lily. Yes, my neighbor Lily. I'm not in Singapore yet, but I will be in Singapore on Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Jansen, Sir Sean, this next question was thrown to us last week and it was an answer because it was on YouTube.
Yes.
Right? I just want to read it out and I hope you can answer as well. Coming from Mr. Paul Ross, I have never taken a COVID vaccine. Is my life in danger? I'm in my early 30s with no illness.
No. You're not. Your life is not in danger in any way. You're in your early 30s. You're about my age. I mean, for our age group, no. I mean, COVID will not kill you, not unless you have comorbidities. But if you are, just like what you said, right? You don't have any illnesses at all. Then no problem. Just maintain a healthy weight. That's it. Maintain a healthy weight.
Yeah, and we have reached a point now that the strain of COVID is not as lethal as the ones right in the beginning.
Yes.
And also, I'm amazed. First of all, I'm amazed you haven't gotten COVID, because many people I know have already gotten COVID twice. So yes. So no, don't be afraid. Really, don't be afraid. Maybe this viewer is from China. Because no, it's possible, because the narrative and the information is different depending on where you are from. Right? But really, it is clear now, COVID is not as lethal as we thought it was in the beginning. The main worry, why governments worry about COVID, is not that you will die from COVID. It's that because of COVID, you overwhelm the hospital. That means so many people need to be administered or to check, and that will tire out our medical doctors and nurses, and that might also flood our ICUs in the event that some COVID patients develop pneumonia. Okay, so but no, COVID in itself, don't worry so much about it, especially if you are in your early 30s.
That's a good news. That's a very good answer for you, Mr. Paul Ross. There you go. Thank you, Sir Fallon and Doc Jansen. Right, next question coming from our dear Miss Lily Lou Neo. Doc Jansen, is it safe to be totally salt-free in all our food?
Okay, first of all, it's impossible to be salt-free. Okay, it's impossible to be, to have zero sodium in your diet, because whole foods, whole plant foods have sodium in it.
Oh, so if you eat like big chai, there's sodium.
There's sodium. If you eat banana, there's sodium.
Oh yes, banana.
If you eat papaya, there's sodium.
Okay.
If you eat whatever plant food it is, there's sodium. So it's impossible for anybody to have a sodium-free diet or zero sodium diet. Okay, but nevertheless, the question would be, what if
is it advisable
salt-free?
to be totally salt-free?
Salt-free, yes. No added salt whatsoever. It's okay. But
is it good? It's okay, but is it good? Or would you advise to use some salt?
I would advise to use some salt.
Okay.
Just to have, just to add a little bit of flavor. Okay. But if you really want to have zero salt, okay, it's okay, because our body has its mechanism to conserve sodium. Okay, so because we pee out sodium, okay, in excess we pee out sodium. If we lack sodium, then we conserve sodium. Okay, that is for a working kidney. However, if you have chronic kidney disease, totally different story. Okay, because the sodium regulation is impaired already. So that's the time wherein we have to have a strict
low or no
yes,
added sodium.
No added sodium, but not totally zero as well. Okay, so it's a little bit tough for those patients with CKD, but for the general population, even if you go salt-free, zero added salt, it's fine. Okay.
Doc, maybe as a follow-up question, why is sodium important for our body? What does our body use sodium for?
It basically uses it for almost every physiologic function. By physiologic, that means every function of the human body.
We need salt.
Yes, we need sodium. We need sodium to move. We need sodium for the electricity from the brain to go to the
your nervous
everywhere.
system works
The nervous system works on sodium. Your fluids, okay, works on sodium. Blood pressure works on sodium. The water regulation of the body works on sodium. So basically every physiologic function, okay, so sodium is really very important.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So I Lily, I hope that answers your question. So Doc, maybe just one last clarification. Is it healthy for cancer patients in general, okay, not those with CKD, not those with kidney dysfunction, is it advisable for them to adopt low sodium cooking or no added sodium cooking?
Okay, for cancer patients, if you are not a stomach cancer patient, then it's okay. Even if you have a little bit more salt, it's okay. Yeah. But if you have stomach cancer, then it's important to lower down or tone down your sodium intake or your salt intake, because salt can irritate the stomach. Okay? So if you have gastric cancer or stomach cancer, that can irritate the cancer more, so you can experience stomach pain. Okay, so that's the only time.
So it will be advisable for all cancer patients to basically do a no sodium added diet, but if you have added sodium, it's okay.
Yes.
You don't have to beat yourself over it. Maybe like one meal a day you do add some sodium. That's absolutely fine.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I mean,
maybe do that so that you will eat.
Yeah, you will
right?
eat.
Because it's important to eat as a cancer patient.
Yes. The more important conditions where we really need to control for sodium intake is hypertension.
Okay, just watch it if you have hypertension.
So that's the main thing. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Lily. Yep.
Good question. Thank you, Miss Lily. Okay, so okay, another question coming from our dear Miss Lilibet from the Philippines right now. Okay, Doc, what would be the best food for people with high blood for Noche Buena?
Okay, for high blood, okay, I'll give you the foods which are really good for high blood pressure. Okay, so every food that I know of. So let's start from beverages. Okay, for beverages, it's hibiscus tea.
Hibiscus tea.
Hibiscus tea, okay. Green tea as well. That would be great.
Green tea, no sugar added. Don't buy the commercial green tea. It's very sweet. That's not healthy for you. Right?
Okay. So next, let's move to legumes. So for legumes, practically all beans are good for hypertension.
That's great.
For seeds, that would be your ground flax seeds. Okay?
Oh, that's delicious, everybody. Try flaxseed. Really
Yes.
go out, buy flaxseed from your local health store. It's really delicious. Try it.
Okay, next, let's go to vegetables. For vegetables, that would be your green leafy vegetables. All green leafy vegetables would be really good for hypertension. Garlic also, the allium vegetable, so garlic is one of them. For garlic, it's better to cook, okay, rather than it's eaten raw, because if you cook garlic, then the antioxidants would be more released more. Okay.
That's true also for tomatoes. I found that for tomatoes, it's better to cook a tomato, like maybe oven roast it, than to eat it raw. It's much more nutritious.
Yes. Actually, tomato is also more nutritious if you microwave it.
Just the one-time microwave is actually good?
That's one of the exceptions.
Okay.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, I think we've...
What about cheese?
Cheese.
There's a big thing for Filipinos to eat cheese during Noche Buena.
Unfortunately, cheese is very high in saturated fats, so it's a no.
What about vegan cheese, like cheese made from cashew nuts? It tastes exactly like the real thing.
Okay, if you are healthy, perfectly healthy, it would be better to eat plant-based cheese like cashew cheese. Okay?
Tastes like mozzarella, everybody.
Yes. However, if you have very high blood cholesterol, then it would be better to tone it down, because cashew cheese, so it's also very high in fats. However, the main difference is cashew nut cheese is polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is the healthy kind of fat, versus saturated fats from dairy, from cow cheese. So saturated fat is the one that we should be limiting or avoiding. Okay?
Good news for everybody who lives in Philippines, especially in Metro Manila. Next year, we are onboarding a new partner in our program, Chef B. And Chef B will make available next year cashew cheese that she makes. Yay! You can deliver anywhere in Metro Manila.
It tastes like actual cheese.
It tastes like actual cheese, really good, right? And I want to share, since today is Christmas, we talk about food. Doc, I finally tried oat milk in coffee.
Oh.
It tastes better than coffee made with regular milk. It's expensive though, extra 60 pesos.
Yes.
Oh my god. I really enjoyed it because I don't drink coffee. Again, my wife has forbidden me to drink coffee. I'm a good husband. Okay, but I like to drink chai latte. But I was about to order chai latte. Then I saw Doc Jansen's face appear in front of me at the cashier. Okay, and then he was like, "Don't drink milk. It's bad for you, right?" So I'm like, okay. I still needed my chai latte, so I said I saw the option there. I got it at Toby's estate, so it says chai latte you can option replace with oat milk. Oh, to my surprise, it tastes even better than cow's milk. The flavor of the oat gives it a very rich aftertaste that just goes well with mocha. It goes well with coffee. It goes well with chai. So that's my good news to everyone. I tried it and it tastes great. Oat milk replaced, not soy. I don't like soy. Soy in coffee has this sour aftertaste. Weird, right?
Weird
Oat
taste.
milk. That's
Oat
the
milk,
good one.
yes, I agree. Actually, chai latte is one of my favorite drinks.
Oh, you too?
Yes,
Okay.
it tastes better with oats rather than soy.
Don't go for soy.
So just go to Starbucks so you can compare.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc Jansen. All right. Another question. An interesting one coming from Miss Heidi. Is Cheerian and coffee enema good for breast cancer stage 3? Cheerian is like a supplement, a brand of supplement.
Okay, coffee enema or doing enema for any kind of reason, unless you are so constipated, okay, enema is not a good procedure to do because you will risk puncturing or perforating your intestine. You can injure your rectum, you can bleed. You can introduce bacteria which is resident in your colon back to your small intestine and cause problems. Okay? So don't do enema. Your colon is meant or it is created to expel things out. Okay? So don't do anything that you manipulate it so that you put some fluid in there and then do some manipulation where it does things that it's not meant to do. Okay? Because if you do so, you risk injuring yourself or you risk harming yourself. So I'm not a fan of coffee enema for that matter. Even if you do so, even if you do cleanse your bowels so good, right? It will not shrink the size of your breast cancer. It won't. Okay? Coffee enema doesn't have any effect on the immune system whatsoever. In fact, you can actually even destroy your gut microbiome, which is more important, which is a more important function for your immune system. Okay, so don't do coffee enema, please. Okay, it's very dangerous. Okay, yeah, that's my stand on it.
I like to chip in on this as well.
Go ahead,
you know,
sir.
I've had friends who love coffee enema, and I can see some of the effects of a coffee enema. For example, the skin clears, pores in your face actually closes. So it does give you a glow, and it does come across, right? It comes across as a very effective or very powerful detoxing of your body, which is why your face looks like it has a glow and everything. But again, what Doc Jansen says is something for us to really take into consideration. It's the opposite function of what your bowel movement is supposed to do. Things are supposed to come out there, but we put coffee up there this way instead, right? So I think these are practices that maybe if you are perfectly healthy, you can try. Or if you are so constipated that other methods have not been tried, then you are desperate, you want to try. Again, what we end up saying is not that it doesn't have its benefits, because obviously you see some people who do coffee enema, the skin glows, everything is good. But in that procedure, there is also tremendous amount of risk as well, right? Whether the coffee ground that you use, is it of the right quality? You can't use Nescafe to do, coffee enema. Just in case someone is actually thinking of doing that. No, especially organic ground coffee, right? And again, a lot of things can go wrong. So before you try coffee enema, why don't you just take more fiber, more dietary fiber, eat more green leafy vegetables. Let's see if that gives you the results so that you don't have to do something so unusual, okay? Now, if you're perfectly healthy and you're very curious, you want to go and try, again, don't go to anywhere that's cheap, all right? Go to the more expensive ones because this is definitely something not usual. Yeah, I think that's where I stand also. I was very curious about coffee enema. And I actually work with doctors who do use it. But you know, at the end of the day, I decided to take more Cleansing Plus and eat more vegetables, and I've been able to have a super healthy bowel movement. I never had to resort to coffee enema. And if you look at my skin, I have good skin. And it's not the filter, okay? So you can get good skin and get good detoxification by eating a lot of green vegetables. Taking a PPAR tablets, that's another great way to detoxify, very high in chlorophyll content, so that you can avoid anything that is more intrusive for your body. Again, as a last resort, maybe it's something that you want to try, but there are better options that you should try first. That's where I'm coming from.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Learning about NEMA. Okay, another question. Heads up, more questions are coming in. I hope we can answer more as well.
Can I shoot very fast to Lily? Almond milk, pistachio milk. Yeah, nice. I love pistachio milk. Both works, okay. To Marlene, drink better black coffee. Always better black. Without creamer, without sugar. Alright, yeah.
Awesome. Thank
and
you.
Caramel's milk is still milk. So, okay. Go for oat, okay? If you really need to add anything into your coffee, okay, sugar-free black coffee with oat milk, okay? But your oat milk will probably be a sweetened oat milk, so yeah. But best pure black coffee. The people that I've known that take a lot of black coffee and are actually healthy and look very anti-aging, all their life they've never added even 1 teaspoon of sugar or milk to their coffee. The only healthy coffee drinkers I know take it purely black without any addition. That's the only people that I see which they drink so much coffee, yet they look good, they don't have blood cholesterol problem, they don't have all this. Anybody else who has drink like Starbucks or all those dairy coffee milk all have high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, all these problems. But only healthy coffee drinkers I know are the ones that drink it black.
Thank you. I think Miss Jermaine
Rivera
will be the winner for that.
Example. I always joke because if you cut Miss Jermaine's veins, no blood will come out, coffee will come out. Okay, that's how much coffee she drinks, and but she looks so good, so anti-aging.
Yes.
So yeah.
Thank you, sir. Very quick way to answer questions. Thank you. Okay, another question. This question was thrown to us privately. So the question is, can using microwave ovens increase cancer risk?
Oh, that's interesting.
No, it doesn't.
So why is microwave not good? Is there a reason why it's not good?
Is it true?
We were all told. I don't have microwave oven in my house now. I never really questioned why they said it was no good. It just felt wrong that you could cook food that way, but
I guess for certain foods, which I don't know which foods are, placing them inside the microwave, it can probably destroy some nutrients. But I haven't looked at the literature yet, so I cannot really say for sure which foods it's not good for microwave. But microwave, in and of itself, okay, microwave is not dangerous. It is a non-ionizing radiation. So meaning it doesn't influence the DNA. Okay, so even you expose yourself to radiation or to microwave radiation, you won't get cancer from it. Okay? The only thing that it will do is to vibrate your water molecules to generate heat. Okay? But that's it.
So, unlike X-ray, if you expose yourself a lot to X-ray, you can get cancer. That's why you have to wear a lead apron when you go inside to do an X-ray, right? So microwaves do not cause cancer.
No, it doesn't cause cancer.
Okay. Anyway, I don't think anybody stands very close to a microwave when it's cooking. So we are all smart enough to at least step away when the microwave oven is cooking. Okay. All right.
No, I'm just curious, more so with air fryer.
it's
more so with air fryer.
safe.
Air fryer from
air
literal,
fryer is
it's
way safer.
It's using the air to heat up the.
So it's
the
better
food,
than
right?
it's better than deep frying.
Yes, definitely better than deep frying, because deep frying you use oil, okay, and deep frying at that you use very highly processed oils, hydrogenated vegetable oils, okay, which are very high in saturated fats. But if you use air fryer, you don't use any oil at all.
So air fryers and toaster ovens are actually the same. The only difference is that in an air fryer they blow the air around, alright? So it's more efficient. So if you're cooking by toaster oven, for example, grilling your vegetables and all that, that's also a very healthy way to cook, like grilling salmon, right, in a toaster oven.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sir Sean. Okay, another question. Should I avoid potassium in my diet if I am already taking losartan potassium, 50 milligrams tablet?
No. Okay, the only time you try to avoid potassium is if you have chronic kidney disease.
Okay.
If you have CKD and your potassium is already very high, if you push your potassium levels close to 7, you'll have problems in your heart. Okay? However, in general, for hypertensive patients, okay, it's very important that you take in as much potassium as you can. But in food sources, okay, so food sources which are high in potassium are all plant foods. Okay? Why is potassium very important? Why is potassium associated with losartan? Losartan is a anti-hypertensive medication, right? So it's because potassium can counteract the effect of sodium. Okay?
Oh, so potassium. Yes. Because I know if you are hypertensive or high blood pressure, you should avoid sodium.
Yes.
So potassium balances out the action of sodium.
Yes. Okay, so potassium. Okay.
Bananas are very rich in potassium.
Yes.
Okay.
Not only bananas, okay? Actually, banana is one
a
little bit in a
middle?
It's around in the middle.
Okay.
The highest is potatoes.
Potatoes.
Potatoes, the
we
highest.
all love potatoes. Baked potatoes.
Following potato would be green leafy vegetables. Yep.
And then bananas. There you go.
Thank you, Dr. Jansen. Thank you, Sir Sean. Another question. Okay, how about non-stick pan with Teflon? Is it safe for cancer patients?
No. For cancer patients, avoid using non-stick pans because the Teflon, when you cook with a non-stick pan, right? So the Teflon chips out. Okay, so if that goes into your body, that is carcinogenic. So avoid using non-stick pans. It's better for use stainless steel or titanium.
Yes, big no-no. I used to have a lot of non-stick pans in my kitchen because my wife would ask me to wash the dishes. So definitely it's easier to clean, but I've removed all of them because I noticed that non-stick pans don't last very long, which only tells me that Teflon is no longer on the pan, it's in me. Right? So that's another reason. So use stainless steel. If you can bear to part with it, there are actually frying pans like from Salad Master and brands like that. Surgical stainless steel. It's so compact that it's non-stick.
Salad Master is one good brand.
Yeah, you can literally burn food and then just push the burnt thing just slides off the pan. All right. Another one is using hot skillet. Cast iron. All right. Because that's another way. If you know how to prepare it, you can coat it with the way you clean it. It can actually become like non-stick. And then there's actually Salad Master. Yeah, Kathy. It's also terribly expensive, Kathy. That's the thing about Salad Master.
Yes.
I love it too. It's just very expensive. And then there was a celebrity chef that showed us how to cook scrambled eggs. Because when you cook scrambled eggs, a non-stick pan is very useful. Because you have to, keep. There's a way to cook scrambled eggs without oil and without a non-stick pan. Oh yeah, it's created by this celebrity chef because he decided also to have no more non-stick in his house. Y'all want to know how to cook scrambled eggs without oil? and a non-stick pan. If you do, type the question and then I'll answer. If not, we'll just move on. All right. Next question.
Thank you, Sir Fan. All right, another question coming from Ms. Teresita Ligunaw. Is early cancer stage, breast cancer, does it need chemotherapy?
Not all. Not all. Depends on what stage. If it's stage 0, stage 1, you don't need chemotherapy for that. Okay? Also, it depends on what kind of breast cancer you have. If it's stage 1, okay, early stage breast cancer, stage 0, stage 1, usually no need for chemo. So what you need to do is to go for the surgery. Usually it's just lumpectomy, radiation therapy after. Then
Would they suggest preventive chemo?
Preventive chemo,
Or they
it's
will
not
go
necessary.
Straight, they will go straight to hormonal therapy.
You can go straight to hormone therapy if you are hormone receptor positive. If you are HER2 positive, however, if for HER2 positive, then it would be better for you to undergo trastuzumab, Herceptin. If it's difficult for you to afford Herceptin, then chemotherapy would be prudent. Okay? It's why is it so? It's because HER2 positive breast cancer tends to be more aggressive. So even if it's stage 1, stage 0, then I think some oncos would also agree that they would prescribe chemotherapy to the patient. So that would be adjuvant chemotherapy. Okay? But in general, for the breast cancer types which have a better prognosis, like hormone receptor positive breast cancer, usually for early stage chemotherapy is usually not recommended. So you go after the surgery, radiation therapy, then you go for hormonal treatment immediately.
If you can't remember all that, just go for a consult with Doc Jansen and then bring your medical files along with you. So that you get a very clear explanation. But at least you know that Doc Jansen is really clear about and can guide you about through this process, right?
Definitely. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, sir. Speaking about consultation, please, if you wish to have a consult with Doc Jansen Calalan, the link for you to book an appointment is in the description box, right? Or you can just type in how to consult. We will get in touch with you individually after the program. Okay, thank you.
I see that Lily wants to know how to cook scrambled eggs without oil. That will be my last word for tonight, okay? The last part, I'll share with you how to do that, okay?
Alright, the first question coming from Miss Alice De Castro. What fruits are good to eat for a rectal cancer patient?
Oh, all kinds of fruits are good for rectal cancer, for colorectal cancer. So for colorectal cancer, it's very important that you have a high fiber diet, okay? And use a lot of spices in your food, especially turmeric, okay? Because those foods are very helpful for colorectal cancer, okay?
No, you know, this question is reverse of something I heard at another health talk. At the health talk, that health specialist actually shared that cancer patients should not eat fruits. I was quite shocked by that. Do you have any comments about that?
Okay, usually why do these experts recommend you to avoid fruits? Okay, it's because of the sugar content of fruits. However, here's the thing. Cancer cells, it's true that they feed on sugar. However, healthy cells also feed on sugar. Okay? And the thing is, you cannot live without sugar, without glucose, because if you eat a diet that has 0 carbohydrates, your brain will it's very difficult for your brain to function because your brain is solely relying on carbohydrates or glucose to function. Okay? So, how do we reconcile this? So for cancer, since it also feeds on sugar, so we cannot focus on sugar. So we have to look for another angle here. So what is it in a high sugar or a sweet diet that can make cancer grow? Okay, here's the thing. If you eat a very high carbohydrate diet, okay, or a very high or a very sweet diet, high glucose diet, okay, what will happen to your blood sugar?
Go up.
It will go up, right? It will spike up. Okay? If your blood sugar spikes up, what would the body secrete in order to bring it down?
Insulin.
Yes, that would be your insulin. So your insulin's function is to open up your cells so that blood sugar can go inside the cell so that the cells can use the sugar as fuel. Okay? So, what happens here? If you eat a very high carbohydrate diet, low in fiber, so your intestine will absorb the sugar so fast that it spikes up your blood sugar. So since your blood sugar spiked up so high, the body will secrete a correspondingly high insulin to bring it down. And what is the function of insulin aside from bringing the sugar inside the cell? It's to build tissues. Okay?
So that will feed cancer growth.
That will feed cancer growth. Okay? So it's the spikes in insulin that feeds the growth of cancer. So how did the researchers knew this? Okay? Exogenous insulin. So by exogenous insulin is patients who are injecting insulin. So diabetic patients injecting insulin. So when they compare diabetic patients who are not injecting insulin versus diabetic patients injecting insulin, those diabetic patients who are injecting insulin have a higher risk for cancer, higher risk for developing cancer. And take note, okay, the two diabetics. So you might think, okay, hey doc, the reason why these diabetics are injecting insulin, the reason why they have a higher risk for developing cancer is in the first place they have a worse diabetes versus those who are not injecting insulin. Okay, no, the researchers controlled for that. So these are basically the same diabetic patients who are insulin requiring already, and they found that diabetic patients who are injecting insulin have a higher risk for cancer. So they studied how insulin affects the development of cancer or the growth of cancer. Then it confirmed what they found. So it's really the insulin, not the sugar per se. Okay, so be
so
careful.
we bust the myth. It is not true that cancer patients cannot eat fruits. In fact, it's the reverse. They should eat fruits because fruits have a lot of antioxidants and they are rich in phytonutrients which have a lot of function, a lot which would aid in the fight against cancer. But doc, that it is also true that cancer patients should not drink fruit juice.
Yes.
Big difference, everyone. Many people think drinking fruit juice is eating fruits. Not the same. Okay? Not the same. You can don't substitute fruit juices for fruits. They're different. Although a smoothie is eating a fruit because you don't take anything out in a smoothie.
Yes.
But fruit juice, like buying apple juice, buying orange juice from the bottle, you don't tell yourself while you're drinking apple juice, I'm eating apples. Okay, you're lying to yourself. It doesn't work that way. Okay, that is really true. If you drink apple juice, pineapple juice, Four Seasons juice out of the can, it's bad for your cancer. But eating a papaya, eating a real orange, eating an apple, eating a banana, that's good for you. Okay, I hope we become crystal clear on this one.
Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Doc Jansen. Okay, another question. Interesting one coming from Miss Nini. Is kimchi a good food for cancer patients?
Okay, the answer is no. Okay, kimchi is not a good food for cancer. Why? Kimchi increases your risk for developing stomach cancer.
Okay, you know when Doc Jansen first told me this, I was like, I have to respect him. So I believe him first, but there were some doubts in my mind, right? Because kimchi is supposed to be like the national treasure of Korea, right? And there's so many literature about it being fermented food is good for you, and it's probiotic and everything, you know. But I believe Dr. Jansen. However, I had some conflicting data from past. Until Dr. Jansen showed me a very conclusive data. Koreans have a higher incidence rate of stomach cancer.
Yes, it's actually one of the highest.
There you go. It's one of the highest.
They have, okay, for Koreans, the top causes of death. Okay, for the world, to give you an idea, worldwide, #1 cause of death, cardiovascular diseases. So that means you die of heart attack. Okay? That's true for Western countries. That's true for the Philippines. Okay? However, in Korea, number one cause of death is cancer. And if you take a look at their roster of cancer cases that are one of the top causes, okay, it's colorectal and stomach. Okay? For other countries, different.
Breast.
For the Philippines, it's lung, breast, prostate, colorectal. Okay? Philippine data is the same with Western data. Okay? So, if you are thinking, okay, Koreans love to eat samgyup. Samgyup salamat. Samgyupsal. Okay? So, grilled beef, grilled meat, right? That's carcinogenic. So, you might think, that's one of the reasons why they have a high colorectal cancer. Okay? But that cannot explain why they have a high stomach cancer rates. Because if the grilled meat is the one that causes the stomach cancer rates, then we should see the same profile in Western countries, like in the US. Because US
they eat a lot
of meat as well. They eat
barbecue,
a lot of burgers,
steak,
yes,
pork,
processed
bacon.
meat. But you cannot see it there. Okay, you cannot see it there. Okay, so Koreans, one of the staple foods is kimchi. Okay?
And they eat a lot of it.
They
For
eat a lot of
breakfast,
it.
lunch, dinner,
Exactly.
night
So
snack with
preserved-
ramen,
yes.
everything.
Preserved vegetables. It's in everything. I mean, if you look at their snacks, you have your kimchi noodles.
Hey, my dog brought me kimchi when he went to Korea.
Well, it's okay if you eat kimchi from once in a while.
Yeah.
But not every day. Come on.
Not every day.
Okay, so if you're a cancer patient already diagnosed, avoid kimchi. Okay, although it's a vegetable, but it will just irritate your stomach. It has some carcinogens that can, might stimulate cancer growth.
Okay, so we cannot eat kimchi. What about apple cider? Does it provide you the benefits of kimchi without the downside of kimchi?
Okay, for apple cider, it is good for cancer.
Oh,
Why?
okay.
Why? Because what is one of the risk factors of cancer, developing cancer and increasing dying from cancer? Obesity. Okay, apple cider can actually help you lose weight. Yes, it can actually help you lose weight. So this is already proven with science. Okay, if you take two teaspoons every day of apple cider, it has a negative caloric balance on your body. So what is a negative caloric balance? Okay, if you eat food, food has calories. So that will add into your calories, daily calories. Okay, because food has calorie, that will add on when you eat it. Okay. However, if you take apple cider, it has a negative caloric balance. So when you take apple cider, it actually deducts the number of calories from the
Wow,
meals.
that's a good news. I'm gonna go back to my morning apple cider regime.
Apple cider is quite good. However, there's always a however.
However,
if you have hyperacidity and apple cider triggers your hyperacidity,
Then
please
don't take it.
listen to your body. Don't take it, okay? So listen to your body.
So
okay?
for Miss Felicima, it's not that you cannot eat kimchi, but don't eat kimchi thinking that, it's good for me, so I'll take it every day for lunch. I'll take it very often. No, it's more like ice cream. You can take it, but because you like it. But don't take it thinking that it's good for you. It's good for you. There are better ways to get probiotics and fermented food. So, for example, apple cider vinegar. That's also fermentation, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. How about wines? Is it safe for cancer patients, even just for ounce only?
No. Again, no.
Because of alcohol.
Alcohol is carcinogenic. You have cancer already. Okay, so alcohol. Okay, there's.
Sorry.
If you take a look, when preventing cancer, okay, there is no upper safety limit of alcohol intake. Okay, so even with just a little bit of alcohol, it can have carcinogenic effects. So remember, for cancer, it only takes one cell to mutate.
Oh wow!
It only takes one cell to mutate, and that one cell, okay, has, cannot repair its DNA, and it somehow multiplies a lot, and it evades the immune system, that can become cancer. One cell. It only takes one cell for cancer to develop. Okay, so please remember that. So if you have cancer already, avoid all kinds of alcoholic beverages.
Okay. Yeah, just in case some people will be asking, like, why are there medicinal alcohols? I was talking to Doc Jansen about this because in Chinese medicine, they don't have any other extraction process. That means if you want to take out the essence from a particular plant, they use alcohol to extract it. So you soak, for example, the plant in the alcohol, whatever is nutritious in that plant comes out into the alcohol. So that's why they are medicinal wines. But when you're a cancer patient, don't drink, let's say, if you think papayas are good for you, right? Don't drink papaya alcohol. Go and eat the papaya, all right? Because the alcohol is not ideal and it's not good for cancer patients. So with your cancer patient, avoid alcohol.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Sir Sean. All right, I think this will be the last question, and then the question that you share to everybody, how to cook.
How to cook scrambled eggs without oil and a non-stick pan.
Yes. All right. So coming from Miss Alice de Castro, is it good to eat raw vegetables for a cancer patient?
Yes, it's okay. Now, usually on-course will tell you, okay, avoid raw vegetables when you're undergoing chemotherapy, radiation therapy.
Why?
It's because if you're undergoing chemotherapy, radiation therapy, your immune system goes down. Okay? You become immunocompromised. And usually for immunocompromised patients, we tend to become, we are at a higher risk of getting infected. Infection is one of the problems. So, again, researchers investigated this. Is it really true that when you eat raw vegetables, your risk of getting infected increases? Okay, and they found that it has no significant effect. So what do you need to do? Okay, with your vegetables, you have to clean it properly. Okay, it's okay to eat raw, but you have to clean it properly. So how do you clean it? So if you clean your fruits and vegetables just with running water with a little bit of scrubbing or rubbing, that would already remove majority of the pesticides. Now there are certain pesticides where this doesn't work. Okay, so what you need to do is soak the vegetables, the fruits and vegetables, on either number one, vinegar, or salted water.
How long?
Okay, that would be around 20 minutes soaking. Okay, so what is the mixture? How do you mix the salt water?
How much vinegar, how much salt?
So for salt water, that would be 1 part salt to 9 parts water.
10%.
10%. Okay, so you just soak it in there, just leave it for 20 minutes, and afterwards, then wash it on running water again, then that would be clean enough already. Okay? For vinegar, it would be a little bit more expensive because the ratio is still the same. Okay? 10% vinegar. But vinegar is more expensive than salt.
So, is vinegar more effective? Would you if you had a choice, Doc, what would you use?
I would use salt because it has the same, it brings the same result. But salt is just cheaper.
What about all those vegetable soaps? They are soaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't work.
Oh, they don't
They
work.
don't work. Okay.
Wow.
They don't, and it's so expensive. Okay.
It is very expensive. I want to take this opportunity to make a comment on this. Is that I have known, like my Lola cured herself of aggressive 4th stage leukemia by eating raw vegetables. Right. So I think Alice. This is before she knew PPARs. Now she takes PPARs all the time. So I think that's where, Alice, you're asking this question. And yes, a lot of evidence that shows that vegetables, especially raw vegetables, contain so many phytonutrients and all that's so rich, so nutritionally rich and good for you. Okay. However, my Lola always cooks herself. Okay, and I would advise you against going on a raw diet when you are eating out. Okay, just to remind you, the person that prepares your meal might be someone who is, how shall we say, overworked. Nowadays, after the pandemic, restaurants are having a hard time finding staff to work in their restaurants. So imagine an overworked, tired person working in the kitchen. How hard do you think they'll be washing your vegetables? I mean, how thorough are they going to do it? All right, and it's raw. So there could be bacteria on it, there could be pesticides, it could be dirt in the kitchen, or contamination in the kitchen, and yeah, it's raw. So this is why when you go to restaurants, it's always safer to eat cooked food because heat was applied, killing germs, killing pesticides, insecticides. Even at home, if you don't have 20 minutes to wait, if you rush home, you're very hungry, right? One thing that you can do is take boiling water, just very gently, very quickly poach. I mean, you wash your vegetables, and then you pour this boiling water, not to the point that your vegetable is cooked, right? Just pour over it, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. The high heat from boiling water will break down most insecticides and pesticides. A lot of these chemicals just break down at high heat levels. So this is another reason, another way you can prepare your vegetables at home. Okay, so when you go out, don't eat salads because you want to go raw and you want to heal yourself naturally. Eat salads at home, but when you go out, eat cooked vegetables. It's much safer, especially you're a cancer patient. You don't want to have any infections. All right.
Very good point. Thank you, Sir Sean. Thank you, Doc Jansen. All right. Okay.
Okay, so now is how to cook
procedure
scrambled
reveal.
eggs. Okay. How do you cook scrambled eggs? Doc, do you know this one?
I don't.
Okay,
I really don't.
yes. I know something Doc doesn't know about food, right? Okay. Okay, how do you cooking in a cooking pot, not a frying pan. Okay, this is what you do.
Okay.
First, you make your scrambled eggs, right? You crack the egg and then you beat it, right? Then you put a little bit of salt, some pepper based on your taste. Okay. Now, then you boil water. Okay, when it comes to a boil, then you bring it down to more of a simmer, so it's not like that. Okay? And then you start to spin your pot, the water, not the pot. You stir your pot until there's a whirlpool. Okay, you see a whirlpool. Then you pour your egg into it while the whirlpool is, and you keep stirring it, maintaining the whirlpool. And then after that, so you do that, the eggs will cook. It'll be very fluffy. Okay. Then you quickly just take a drainer, drain it out. That's your scrambled egg. It's it's much fluffier than when you fry. Okay, it's very interesting. Go and try. The first few times you make it, it might not look appetizing. Okay, but you can go and maybe you can go to YouTube and just search cooking scrambled eggs with boiling water. All right, you probably find the video that shows you how to do it properly. Okay, so I tried it. It actually tastes really good. Okay, very very fluffy. Yeah, very nice and light. Except that at that time I didn't have a drainer, so I used the manual draining. You put your fork there, and then you try to save as much eggs so that it doesn't come out. So it was a little bit wet. Alright, but if you have a proper drainer, okay, then it'll be perfect. Okay. Try that for this weekend, your Christmas scrambled eggs without oil or frying pan.
Yay. Thank you, Sir Sean. It's new learning for us. Okay, all right. Now, of course, this is our last webinar before the Christmas. It's not the last for the year, but this is the last before Christmas. Could you please give our, of course, dear viewers, your parting, very quick parting words to them?
Yeah.
Starting off with Dr. Jansen.
Yeah, okay. So everyone, thank you for attending tonight. I hope you learn a lot of things that you can use to choose your food when you go out there to eat for Christmas. Okay, so the things that I have taught you this webinar are the things that I use personally when selecting food items, which are healthy, which are not. Okay, although of course there will still be some leeways to these principles, but as much as possible, stick to them. Okay. Just by sticking to them, to the principles that you have learned, okay, you will go a long way already. Okay. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for attending all our webinars this year. There will still be one last next week, and it's very interesting. Okay. Next week we're going to be talking all about immunotherapy. So immunotherapy is a new class of cancer treatment that uses your immune system to fight off cancer. Okay, so it's a different paradigm already. It's a paradigm shift. Okay, so previously with chemotherapy, radiation therapy, we actually bulldoze through the cancer. We destroyed the cancer itself directly. However, this time around, it's different. We use our own immune system to kill the cancer. Okay, so how does it do it? What are the things that we can make it more effective? What are the side effects? We're going to be discussing in a 3-part series.
Wow.
Okay, so please attend the first part. Okay, it's very important you attend the first part so that you can have an idea on what immunotherapy can offer you. Okay, immunotherapy is the next big thing in cancer treatment in the next decade, this decade. Okay, and in the next. That would be the mainstay of cancer treatment already, and slowly chemotherapy would be phased out. Okay, so please attend, share the video to everyone you know who is undergoing immunotherapy. Okay, so again, Merry Christmas to all of you.
Thank you, Doc Jansen. And then, of course, Sir Sean.
My last word is how to cook scrambled eggs without oil and frying pan. So I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy yourself with your family, your loved ones. That's what makes life worth living, right? So yeah, see you guys next Thursday as we start immunotherapy. That's after all the parties. So do something educational, okay? Before the end of the year. Attend the program for next Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sir Sean. Thank you so much, Doc Jansen. I am very sure, of course, on behalf of our viewers, we would like to say and extend our gratitude for so much learnings that you have shared with us this year. All right, with all our webinars here. And of course, to all our viewers out there, just to echo out what Doc Jansen and Sir Sean said, see you next week because our topic will be about immunotherapy. It's the part 1, so be sure to attend that one. And of course, once again, for those people who are still looking for gifts for their loved ones, of course, give them the best gift of good health, which is with, of course, Simply Nature Pepars, right? So once again, see you next week, and we really hope to see you not only next week, but of course in our next webinars to come, because here in Simply Nature, we are always with you from start to healing. Thanks everyone, good night, Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas.